All right, I saw Black Widow. So, yeah, I guess there'll be some spoilers in here. Yeah, there will be. But first off, I guess I'll start with what was good about it. Off the bat, no, I didn't like the movie. First of all, if you're considering seeing it at home, don't. It's not worth the $30 you have to fork over to watch it on D+. And besides, one of the benefits of this is that apparently, I'm not aware of all the numbers, but apparently it's doing very well, and it's a Marvel movie, so that's good for theaters and for people wanting to go out and all that, and I think that would be the best way for you to go see it. But no, it's not worth $30 just so you can watch it at home. But a lot of it, just about everything predictable about it happened to some degree or another. So the best parts were the stunts for the most part, except where they were completely not believable. That's the negatives to them. But there was quite a few cool scenes like that. Some interesting bits and pieces here. Scarlett's beautiful, of course. And they do put in some nods to where it fits in, like, this is after Civil War and all that sort of thing, and where she ends up. And that's about it. The music is good. I really liked some of the themes do that. I'm a big soundtrack music fan in and of itself. And this one was pretty good. Even when it's something that's not that great, I will like the music. I like the music done for Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I like the music done for Loki's series. So, but I don't particularly care for either of those shows, especially Falcon and Winter Soldier. Which getting into spoilers, Falcon and Winter Soldier does sort of halfway play into this. So. That's about it. David Harbour, he's a good actor and everything, but it's an odd thing about how different. Now, granted, you get the whole movie's a prequel, of course, but you get a flashback to 1995 to get into Natasha's early years, and David Harbour plays this character who, they kind of rip off The Americans, the FX TV series. So he plays her fake father with his fake wife, and she has a fake sister, and they've been their sleeper cell planted inside America to spy on them. He gets, I guess he got the makeup of what the program that the real villain of all this is a Russian man named Draco, who basically formed the Red Room that creates and trains the Black Widows, and David Harbour's character Red Guardian was supposed to be their answer to Captain America, and they managed to concoct their own super soldier serum because he does have super strength. He's basically the only superpowered character in the movie, and the opening is quite interesting. They make their escape, they're found out, and they have to leave, and they head to Cuba and all that, and there's this big escape scene that they do. And of course, it's only believable by what he does because he has these, he has super strength, and so that's all well and good. But he's a far more serious character in that. And granted, it's then the movie jumps 20 years later, and you have Natasha where she is now after being on the run because she broke the Sokovia Accords. And she's a fugitive now because of what Captain America did during Civil War. And she ended up choosing his side, and so there's all that. And so eventually she ends up having to reunite this fake family she had. But with Harbour's character, he's immediately transformed into a clown. Now, granted, there is this 20-year gap, but he's just this goofy buffoon that it's just way over the top, and it's obvious why. There's only one man in the movie that's not completely torn down, except he's kind of silly too. He's basically this guy who provides everything Natasha needs. She needed a place to stay while she was incognito, and he provided that. She needed transportation. He provides that. Later on, at the very end, he somehow, some way provides her with a Quinjet. And so, but he's not particularly taken down. There's just some humorous back and forth between the two of them and that sort of thing. So, so he's allowed to be a good guy so long as he's a comic relief. But Harbour is the one who's the butt of all the jokes. The only other man is the main villain, who's just completely and utterly evil. The other men are just there's General Ross. He shows up for a cameo here and there. And, of course, he was never particularly liked by the MCU, a bit unfairly, considering the argument they presented. But nevertheless, that's about it. But the ultimate villain, he's the ultimate toxic man, and it's basically the message such that it is women good, men bad, and to a lesser extent, men stupid. So you get some pass, but you're just an idiot. The rest are, irredeemingly evil. So there's that. The stunts would be the saving grace for some of them. I mean, some of it is sort of James Bond level stuff, which fits in. That's basically what Black Widow's story is. She's a super spy, and the main villain is very much a Bond villain, and all that stuff is all well and good. It's just the believability of it. She does several things that would kill her easily. And I mean that a lot of action movies are like that. The Bond movies can be like that from some, I don't know if I've ever seen them this over the top, but when it's superhero action, unless she's wearing some specialized suit, or she's got some super soldier serum, she doesn't, then she could not have survived. And not just her, several other of these Black Widows and everything. And they even show, now granted, she hit the ground pretty directly, and they show this one of the Black Widows, her legs broken and all that. But man, Natasha just gets beaten up and down and hitting ledges and and things that would have ripped her arm out. She lifts David Harbour out of an avalanche. I don't think so. So yeah, and then the other Yelena, her more or less sister. They're not really sisters, but they feel like they are because they were paired together as kids. Same thing. She does a lot of this stuff. They go to rescue Red Guardian he's been thrown in prison, and they go to get him. And this is another thing. Is an element there where Black Widow, Natasha, jumps down to help him out. But for the most part, the fights that she gets in are completely irrelevant and unnecessary. It was just for the pose. There's a fight between the two sisters when they encounter each other. Utterly unnecessary. In fact, she tries to talk her down in the middle of the fight. She won't do it. And then all of a sudden, later on, after they've torn up the whole apartment, she says truce, and so they quit. Well, anyway, if that was some safe word between them, why didn't she just say that at the outset? Meanwhile, she's there because Yelena had sent her these chemicals that it turns out the Black Widows have been chemically programmed now. They're brainwashed, and they will obey orders no matter what it is, even if it's suicide, they will obey it. But there's this antidote to it that as soon as you spray it in their face, they're no longer brainwashed. And that becomes the whole point of the film. Draco's trying to get this antidote that, well, why'd you make that? But so this wakes Yelena up, and so the only person she can trust is Natasha, so she sends it off to her. So Natasha is in hiding. She goes to this camper trailer that her buddy has set her up with, and there's this box. She says, "What's this?" And he says, "Oh, that's some mail that was sent to you." And she says, "Well, I don't care about that," and she's just going to throw it away. So she's supposed to be, incognito, and hidden. She's hiding out, and no one should know where she is. She gets mail. She's not the least bit curious what it is. Well, it turns out within the package is the antidote. Just really stupid. So of course she gets attacked by the Taskmaster. Now the Taskmaster clearly all the stunts heavily masked is performed by a man. But one of the predictions is like, oh boy, it's going to be revealed to be a woman. Well, you at first thought it might be Rachel Weisz would be revealed to be Taskmaster. No, she's not. She's actually the fake mother of the two girls and of Natasha here. And, fine. But Taskmaster turns out to be the daughter of Draco. And Black Widow believed she had killed Draco before she joined S.H.I.E.L.D. She was brought in by Hawkeye, and one of the last acts she did to prove her worthiness was to get rid of Draco. And in the process, his daughter was in the building that was destroyed, and it was an explosion, Well, he didn't die, and neither did the daughter, but she was severely damaged, and now she's been turned into Taskmaster. So if you're a big comic book fan of Marvel Comics, sorry, you're not going to get Taskmaster. And in the end, she gets the antidote, and everything's great, because once they get the antidote, they're no longer brainwashed by the patriarchy. Women just love each other, and they work it out, and they come together, and it's just sweet and beautiful, They never fight amongst themselves. So I guess that's why all the feminism crap was thrown about. Also, because if you didn't like the movie, you must obviously be a misogynist. The rest of it is just kind of a lazy story. And like I said, some of the stunts, it's when they don't make sense and when they're too over the top for people who don't have superpowers or some sort of means of protection. There's too many things there where she couldn't possibly survive that. And yet does, Yeah, there was one with Yelena when they were doing the rescue of Red Guardian, and there's this guy with this, damn near cannon shooting at the helicopter they're in, and she just walks over and gets a rocket launcher and takes him out. Well, he would have, the way he was firing, he would have killed her several times over before she could have done it. It's like she doesn't just leap over there. She just sort of casually goes and does it because, she's badass and everything. That's just really stupid. And they do dumb things like that. Finally, the the confrontation between Natasha and Draco. There's a fake out there where she gets in there and pretends to be Melina, the fake mother, and it's a mask and it's not, and all that. But he figures it out. He trained her. Then turns out she's brainwashed too. She basically an original brainwashing. He doesn't control her completely, but she can't kill him. It's like RoboCop. She's programmed not to kill him, and that sort of thing. But she knew this all along, and it was a fake out, and so she bashes her head, which crushes the nerve that's used to keep her from hurting him. Plus, he's this mastermind of everything, and yet he loses his crap, and she psychs him out. It's beyond cartoon. It's just really, really bad. They're trying to recreate the fake out she did with Loki in the Avengers, and they don't know how to do it for some reason, and it's terrible. So that's pretty bad. And I thought there is a fight between Red Guardian and Taskmaster, but it doesn't go very well. It's just it looks like you're going to get something and it's not, and that's about it. He's just there to be a clown. So I've seen worse, because in a lot of ways the Spider-Man films piss me off more than even Captain Marvel, which was pretty bad. But it's a sad way to see Black Widow go out, And plus, as far as the stinger, that has to do with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, which she's Madam Hydra. Her character shows up to recruit Yelena, who's best for all intents and purposes is the new Black Widow now. Which that not Yelena, Yelena. There was a Yelena in the comic books. They had a new Black Widow and that sort of thing, and that did play out. So there's that. And she tells her that the reason Natasha's dead is because of Hawkeye, so she wants Hawkeye taken out, and this Black Widow is going to hunt him down. I guess in the Hawkeye series, where she'll get her ass handed to her by Hawkeye's daughter. So there you go. A lot of this was totally predictable. I thought, they would actually give you the Taskmaster, who could be a great villain, but no. And after the way they've handled this story, even with the female Taskmaster, you can't. So they're just really stupid. They don't care. Marvel brand is strong, so it should do very well. Should make a lot of money. But Star Wars was like that. And but if it's going to keep being this type of stuff, I don't know. I was really looking forward to Doctor Strange, but after what happened with WandaVision and what they said the reasons were, oh boy. And this movie was actually pretty simple. All you needed to do was a Bond-like movie with Black Widow, but they didn't. And then they go all about this sexism stuff and this millionaire complaining about women not being paid enough. God, it's so stupid. Plus, boy, I tell you, a lot of gratuitous butt shots of Scarlet here. I thought that wouldn't be allowed. Oh, well, what are you going to do? So, I mean, if you really want to see it, yes, do it in the theaters. And for God's sakes, do not spend $30 on this film. I could have understood doing that if the situation had been the same back when Infinity War came out, but not this. So it's sad. I like Scarlett Johansson. I've liked quite a bit of her movies. Ghost in the Shell is far superior to this. But it's just a waste. And that's it. I think she's done. There's no time travel business of her being resurrected or any of that. There was some rumor that would be the stinger, but it's not. It's just a setup for, I think, the D+ series of Hawkeye. And I guess Yelena will be in that, stalking him and that sort of thing. So anyway, there you go. That's Black Widow. So sad. Too bad. It's just, damn, if they could have come up with something on par with Winter Soldier, that would have been a cool element for a Black Widow story. But I guess that was it. I'm beginning to think that was pretty much as far as just the of concept and script, really. Beyond just the emotional payoffs of something like Infinity War, is Winter Soldier appears to be the peak of the MCU. And so, anyway, there you go. That's Black Widow.
Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to IndiePlanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr. Nelson Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nelson.